Sure. So within these manufacturing use cases, you can look in terms of monitoring the operators. Where are they in proximity to safe zones, to the intended zones? You can look in terms of maintenance practices. Is the employee following the procedures in the sequence as intended? Are they using best safety practices? Are they in unsafe environments? And then you can also look at the efficiency or the repeatability of your processes. How AI can be used within manufacturing is make sure you're safe, that your work is done in the safe zones. Your workers have the right posture, they're performing the right procedures, and ensuring the safe movements. One of the ways that we achieve this is through the Kazuchi human motion recognition approach. So we've taken 100 basic actions of a human. We've looked at a recognition to understand when they're standing, they're sitting, they're walking, to be able to capture that information, understand the background that the human's around, the placement and the movement the human is currently taking, and compare it to the way that they are supposed to move. And we've really refined this through our human motion analytics, where we take 3 data points. We look at the 3D generator that takes the human model. It looks at a skeletal design, the physical image in the camera, and then separates it from the background. Posture recognition is one of the unique things that Fujitsu has been able to apply. And then we use those 100 basic movements to then apply this feedback. In one instance in gymnastics, we were providing a score depiction to look at the way that that gymnast is moving in real time compared to the way that they're intended to move. This is just one example.
Wait, so are you saying this is how gymnastics is judged now?
Not actually how it's judged, but it is a data point to help the judges be more objective in their final scoring. When we take that actualizer video analysis, you take both visual and the 3D recognition. So it's got different perspectives. You look at the subtle and complex movement that the human is taking, and then to be able to feed that into a quantitative analysis so you can give the information and you can give those values. In manufacturing process, we can take a look at in terms of how the worker is sequencing their steps. Are they moving in the right order? Are they moving the appropriate fashion? And this can be used in training. This can be used in quality feedback, and this can be used in productivity enhancements.
That is very helpful example. So how do companies put these ideas into practice for their own factories?
One of the things that we use is a support validation. So one of the approaches is using the ERP system for the assembly. So we've got a digital environment where the user can see through a heads-up display where are the parts intended to be, where are the parts missing within the assembly. We can provide a visual representation of what tool to use and what they actually should be sequencing in the correct order. One of the approaches is a key element within warehouse safety. So on the moving fork trucks, we actually have sensors that will find the operator, find other humans within the space, give visual feedback to that operator so they know where it's safe to go, where it should be cautious, and in real time be able to take those corrective actions.
Those are some great explanations of the way Fujitsu, works and shares with its clients. What would you say is the first step to take?
I think what's key is that we've got the long history of working with AI. We've got over 1,000 patents in the environment. We've got over 6,000 projects that have been deployed. One of the key elements is we look at this as a digital intelligence platform. So we work both within Fujitsu technology and our partners' technologies, including Palantir, Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS. And all of that's blended in with all these different applications and then supported through a services environment. We want to make sure that your design is understood, that your operational support continues, that there's managed services for changes, for revisions and version updates, and that you continue to have consistent success. Our method to achieve this is going through a transformation. That transformation process is multifaceted. You don't just turn on AI projects like this on day one. And we guide the user through a step that begins with discovery. So, key understanding to the current state, what are the key performance indicators that the organization uses, now, understanding what's your current domain knowledge or some of your past challenges, and aligning those to the business objectives. Within that discovery, then we jointly develop the gap analysis. We understand the requirements that are needed from an organization, a business, a process, a staffing, and then align those to the business requirements to build that roadmap to success. And the output to that roadmap, whether it's in terms of engineering, quality, operations, maintenance, is a final report and a recommendation of how to proceed. And the Fujitsu approach is referred to as wayfinding. Wayfinding is knowing where you're going based on where you've been. And through this very structured, focused approach, we work in the discovery phases of the interviews, the data cleansing, the data consolidation, and then to be able to build those maps of implementation. So understanding what's your capability planning, what are some lessons learned, or what are some of the challenges you're likely to encounter, and then to be able to build that executive roadmap so you can look at your digital transformation in a real, timely, and milestone based deployment.
Thank you so much, Larry, for sharing your insights and your experiences. Let's open it up now for any questions. So if you have any questions for Larry, please type your questions into the chat and Larry will answer them on the fly.